If Ethan Brown, Ed Bukes, and Donna Williams Richter hadn't found Zabulon skippers, this might have been a year with little to report, excepting Donna's amazing find of September 30th and some oddities in October. Rumor has it that Bukes plans to start charging the Zabulons rent for his backyard. As it stands, 2025's butterfly sightings consisted of a higher percentage of natives than any year in the last few decades. Our regular southern visitors, the red admirals, ladies, sulphurs, and buckeyes, proved some of the rarer sightings this year. Were sleepy oranges in a coma? Monarchs did reasonably well, but climbed in numbers much later than most years. This was a really weird year, mostly because it had far less weirdness than most years. Remember all those Acola skippers, snouts, and pipevine swallowtails of 2024? Or those airborne zebras, and the super rare white M hair streak? Well, a few American snouts were reported this year, and a couple late pipevines, but the other rarer visitors never showed. No note of funereal or other rare dusky wings. And February? Nothing. We had to wait until Marcy O'Connor saw the first butterfly, an eastern comma, in Buffalo County on March 10th. 17 days later than 2024. All right, 2025 did have a few freakish happenings. As example, consider the comma slam on the northern Oconto County count, cinched when Amanda Matsky asked me if that one comma looked a little bit lighter. Yes, it was the elusive satyr comma that joined the ranks of the eastern gray and green commas already tallied for the day. The freakish was attained when Matsky pulled the same trump card a few weeks later on the Forest County count. We actually found two beautiful satyr commas along Scott Lake Road that day, and multiple greens, my personal favorite. And Ethan Brown and his father tooling around the Chiwaki Prairie to find a flock of Zabulon skippers, the first recorded for Kenosha County, isn't really freakish given the excessive mental labors the college freshman puts into locating potential hotspots. He might become the Sherlock Holmes of butterflyers with continued hard work. Donna Williams Richter and Bill Richter's commitments to butterfly observation have elevated Wisconsin sightings. Rotting fruit has been noted as a draw for certain butterflies, but when this pair found a California tortoiseshell gleaning nutrients from fallen apples, they epitomized both meanings of the word windfall. Grant County, the state's southwesternmost county, offers the best opportunities to find strays from southern and western states, and this pair has made the most of them, finding the rare visitor well after summer's long hot days passed. 2025 might be the year I'll finally concede the loss of the purplish fritillary from its last Wisconsin home in Douglas County, particularly given Devin Corbin's commitment to find that species come hell or high water. The latter, in the form of flooding, hit Milwaukee County with rapid force from a torrential rainstorm that dropped 14 inches on Timmerman Field. Other parts of the state had more regular or excessive rainfalls than we'd seen in a few years, leading to a decline in wild rice by 18% over 2024. Though the west part of the state seems to still be trapped in the conditions that make wet roadsides an uncommon event. In butterfly news, this year brought an actual reporting of what many of us already knew. Butterflies are in decline. In March, the journal Science published Rapid Butterfly Declines Across the United States During the 21st Century, which identified a 22% decline in butterflies over 554 recorded species. Declining species outnumbered those increasing by a factor of 13 to 1. I found myself rationalizing these numbers, as can be done with any vague threat, by considering all the ways Wisconsin's butterflies are better off. But such fairy tales can only go so far. In August, the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences published 3 decades of declines restructure butterfly communities in the Midwestern United States. The research shows that some of the butterflies we have greatest concern for, Milbert's tortoiseshell, Aphrodite fritillary, Gorgone checkerspot, are declining at rates greater than 4% per year. Even the common wood nymph is declining at 5% per year in the 8 states identified in the Midwest: Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin. This paper really hits home because it lists 136 species and gives specifics for each. Putting names to the victims personalizes the science, making it a more direct threat, at least for those who know a little bit about butterflies. Most shocking finding, none of those species increased in abundance from 1992 to 2023. 59 of those species, 43%, declined over that period. Another important document worth checking out is the Xerces Society's State of the Butterflies in the United States, downloadable for free from their website. Once again, the news for the most part is not good, but the authors make every effort to highlight positives and, more importantly, offer some direction forward. Sections on each of 7 regional profiles include focused reports on particular species increasing and declining. Here in the Midwest, declines of the West Virginia white and Harris checker spot get the spotlight, while the gemmed satyr, not currently a Wisconsin species, is recognized as increasing. The Zabulon skipper, one of Wisconsin's new visitors, gets special mention as a success story. The authors speculating that understanding factors which are allowing this skipper to increase in both range and abundance may help us to turn the tide for other butterfly species, especially other grass skippers. Habitat loss, biocides, and climate change are cited as the key causes of butterfly declines. But Xerces always offers direction, so Chapter 6, a strategic vision to bring butterflies back, and Chapter 7, calls to action, steps to achieving this vision, are the most important in the book. Yes, we are going to have to work diligently to achieve the vision, but isn't that why most of us are here? This year, resident monarchologist Karen Oberhauser opens her eyes to some aspects of monarch migration southward. This video shows the southern movement of the butterflies who gather at roosting points where hundreds and thousands might be observed. Many monarchs made it to Mexico by November. We shouldn't be surprised that Wisconsin monarchs were reported into November, though these late flyers are unlikely to complete the journey south. Oberhauser explains, those that emerge before mid-August will lay eggs over the course of their month-long lifespan. So reproductive females, some that were born here and some from farther north, were laying eggs in Wisconsin until about mid-September. Because these late eggs are exposed to cool conditions, they take longer to develop and emerge as adults well into October. And WisconsinButterflies.org registered monarch sightings into November. Overall, 2025 was a much better year for monarchs than 2024. For viewers interested in how they can advance the welfare of future monarchs, I recommend perusing information at the Wisconsin Monarch Collaborative's website, particularly their conservation strategy. Garden plantings, local activism and education, adult tagging, and larval monitoring are all great projects for citizen scientists. Another positive trend for 2025, we've increased our counts in the northern part of the state with Amanda Matsky's revival of the Door County count. It would behoove us to follow her lead and revive and establish counts in the northwestern and central parts of the state. They need not be official counts, but they should follow as many of the protocols for surveying offered by NABA. WisconsinButterflies.org can serve as publishing until we have other channels for collecting this important data. Given the blizzard of nominations for the Butterfly of the Year, it's best to end the tension quickly. The dainty sulfur wins the 2025 honor, illustrating the fact that butterflies don't need to be large, blazingly colorful, or obvious to partake of greatness. Donna Williams Richter nominated this increasingly regular immigrant for multiple reasons, not the least being the 17 sightings this year in Wisconsin and 3 new records in Monroe, Oconto, and Pierce counties, all substantial accomplishments compounded by the relative scarcity of their immigrant sulfuric relatives. As of November 6th, as tabulated through a long, tedious scan through WisconsinButterflies.org listings, I've determined we had 124 species reported this year, down from 2024's 130, but nothing to sneeze at. The ticker tape should have shown you all their names. Way to go, butterflies.